So Heather Hackett, thank you. Local Relief. Thank you for joining me today on the Manifest Enlightenment and Soar show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Heather Hackett, thank you. Local Relief. Thank you for joining me today on the Manifest Enlightenment and Soar show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's an honor. I've heard this wonderful piece, this wonderful app that you put together, and that's incredibly exciting and interesting. I'm curious how you put that app together, and then I'm also curious how it provides help to people. And then I'm also curious on what scale do you want it to manifest out to?
Sure.
Like how far do you want it to go?
Sure. Well, first question, as far as kind of what it is and how it was created. Basically, it is like the social hub and the disaster hub. Basically everything as far as like natural disaster goes, it's the hub. So for resources, for social posts, for information, just in general, that's it. And the idea came about during. Well, I live in Florida, so I live in Sarasota, and during Irma in 2017,
Yeah.
there was a storm coming, and because it was the first one that I had gone through, I had to research and find out what supplies and what was going on, and that's great. But then I also, now that I have my list, needed to know where in the area, who had water left, who had that type of stuff, and you see this panic on people.
Sure.
So
critical.
And then so I was in event management. So basically I kind of looked at the storm like I would like any sort of sporting event or an event. And then I wrote a business plan around it. So that was kind of what I did, where I looked at the pieces and parts of, here's an event just like it would be like a storm. And so that was it, so I had this idea, then put this plan around it. And then I didn't know how to create an app, and I knew in my mind it was, and I mentioned to a couple people of, basically like how to do an app, and just kind of put it on the back burner as one of my infamous, crazy ideas, because I'm what they call a serial entrepreneur. So then a guy reached out to me a year later in 2018 to write content for an app that he was creating, and as luck would have it, now that guy's my husband. So so that worked out well. But basically,
commonality is important in marriage. Commonality.
Yeah, absolutely. So we didn't work on Local Relief then. It was an app that he created, and then we kind of morphed.
Yeah.
So during Hurricane Ian in 2022, that was the big one, so I figured for sure, I thought someone had come up with this. I missed my chance. I missed my opportunity. I figured someone else did it. And when I looked for, a social platform dedicated to disaster, I couldn't find one. And I'm going, all right, it's my time. Now I have to do it, because, for a while, and even during the disaster, I had an upset stomach knowing I had an idea that could help people, and I didn't do anything about it, and it didn't exist, so I kind of took it as my opportunity. And my husband said, as he always does, he said, go baby, go. And that was it. And, so then Local Relief was born. The rest, as they say, is history. So that was kind of the idea and how it worked.
Excellent. That's wonderful. So what wonderful team tandem right there.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are a great team. That's for sure. So.
Yeah. And so on the second part of the question, I have a list of questions here, but I'm just going to go from spontaneity.
Absolutely.
So how far do you want to see this expand? Where does this cover? Does this cover Florida right now? The Southeast region? Does it cover out in the Midwest and California? Yeah.
It ranges all areas. Yeah, so technically you can download it anywhere. I just keep saying like who's going to grab onto it first. So right now I haven't announced it yet, but I do have an agreement with the state of Florida. So I have so that is nice because then anytime, obviously, something happens in Florida, I don't know exactly how it's going to be rolled out, but it's going to be rolled out and mentioned then. So that is absolutely fantastic. The Florida Division of Emergency Management I've worked with, and they are phenomenal. So basically now anyone, at least in Florida, you can find your county, find your city, and find your area there. I've created groups for South Carolina, I believe, Georgia, but really anybody can create a group. So if someone in South Dakota downloads it and says, hey, I want a group on, Smithville, South Dakota, I'm just making up a city name, they can literally create that group, get their city involved, and bam, there you go. So I do have the static resources, the things that don't change, like your Volunteer Florida, your Florida Division of Emergency Management, your federal resources, your FEMA, all of that stuff of where to go. So it points there. And then I have how to prepare. So, so now you know exactly what to get, here's the supplies that you need. And then really, ideally, you go to your city, your group, your town. It could be your development. You could create a group for whatever you want. And even nonprofit organization as well. So create that group, go there and say, hey, where's gas? Where's this? Where's whatever? It's citizen journalism, just like Waze, just like Facebook, just like Nextdoor, that type of stuff. So it really utilizes the information from people, which is the fastest way to get information, especially in a disaster. So.
Right. Interesting. That's wonderful. Everybody go out there, download the app, download the local.
Yeah, absolutely.
App. Prepare yourself for the future. Have yourself, prepared and with multiple resources. Question: is there any, just popped in my head while you were talking? Is there any resources to like the fire department, the police department? Or you said there was another agency that, like, if people I know they can call 911 whenever they need to. But is there a link to the fire department, police department, or the emergency paramedics link, or is that something?
Or anything that emergency, I really say still call 911. But as far as the groups that I've created that are on there, like every county in Florida, and even the cities that I've put in there already, I have a link to their emergency management department. So every, cities and counties have their own department. So I've put links to there. And usually that encompasses everything. So that encompasses the police, the fire department, all of that. And every county has their different procedure. Yeah, especially in Florida, every county has their different methods. So really it aims it at every county, and then their website, whatever they're updated with, that's where you can get the most recent information there. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Heather.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Did it ever cross your mind, or did you think of local relief app for natural disasters years before you created it? Inventors often have a dream or an awakening or some type of powerful experience before developing an invention. You mentioned that you were really just kind of jonesing. You were yearning to do this thing in advance a year before.
I've always been an entrepreneur, but everything that I've done, personally, professionally, has always been to help people. So I've written books for kids on confidence. I had a kids personal training business. I'm trying to think of the other infamous businesses, but everything I've done, from being a teacher to, I've always liked to be that source of knowledge. And I've always liked to be that hub of someone. I've always tried to be that person that someone can go to for help. So to me, this has been an accumulation of everything I've ever done. All my contacts, all my, I always say, embrace your failures. And for me, when I fail big, so all of my failures even led me to this, so it's really all led me here. And I knew someday I would do something bigger. I didn't know necessarily what it was, I thought maybe, again, the kids' books or whatever. But for me, this is my favorite, like even of all of them, because there really is a need. I know from living here and from seeing Fort Myers Beach and even telling people of local relief on Fort Myers Beach, and having them get goosebumps and having them say, wow, we really need this. So, like, this would have been so helpful then. And to know that it's going to really change the way that people communicate during disaster is huge. So, and it is a full nonprofit 501c3, so everyone knows that as well. And, I made it that way. So I don't want to build it and sell it, but at the same time, I don't want anyone else to either. It really needs to stick around longer than all of us, and be around for the right reasons, so that's really the whole, I guess that was, it's kind of interesting when you word it that way of like, dreams of what I thought, or did I have a vision? My vision was always helping people in some way and in a big way. I think this really is like the accumulation and the compilation of everything I've done.
Yeah. I need to say, Heather Hackett, we need more people like you on the third. There's people where, we're willing to help each other, because everyone is in a time where they're just, after 2020 was such a challenge for everybody, businesses, bankruptcies, people losing homes, emotional depressions, spiritual depression, spiritual bankruptcy. So things like people like you, people like me, I'd love to help people as well. And I think it's time for all the helpers just to step up and help.
Well, you're doing it, just as we talked about before this started, I mean, you just felt you're doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
So, what year was it exactly that you invented the local relief app? During which natural disaster?
Yeah, it was 2017 during Irma.
During Irma.
Yeah, okay. So that was 5 years before Ian in 2022. And after Ian happened, I knew I had to do it. And it was already done. The business plan was done. The name, it was always called Local Relief, and everything, the stage was set, and even we were in the app space, which was the craziest. So we had an app and we just switched it over and literally pivoted and, and just made everything, all about local relief. So
that's dedication. That's dedication. And how can people find local relief?
You can find all the information at localrelief.com, but as far as the app goes, you can download the Local Relief app on Google Play or in the App Store.
Okay, download the local app or at an app store.
Yes, absolutely. And it's free as well, so it's not going to cost you anything.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that it is. It will always be free. Yeah, 100%.
Helping the people. Please tell me when and where you had a news appearance.
Yeah, absolutely. At this point, we haven't really done our big launch yet. We are just organizing that. So I've done smaller things. Sarasota, the ABC 7, I've been on there, and then one in Tampa, Tampa Bay News 10, I think, in Tampa. Okay. So I was on that as well. So.
And that was for the local relief.
Yeah, but get ready, because we're going to start doing a lot more of that soon. So
good. I'll be watching. Hopefully, a lot of viewers will be watching too, and help out millions of people. Hopefully,
yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah. So local relief is easy to use.
Yeah, I kind of view it as it has to be, just because of the fact that you have to kind of consider your user, and someone could be downloading the app when they've lost everything, and when they have, when they're literally at wit's end, when they're exhausted, when they're, you're not thinking, on all cylinders at that point. So it really has to be. And even there, as far as the audience goes, I'm kind of considering all age ranges as well. So when you download it, the first thing that you can see is a start here, and there's your tutorial videos on really how to post, and those are all YouTube videos, where you can see, how you're going to post and how it works and that type of thing, and how it all comes together. So it really does kind of show people, how to maneuver it. But when as soon as you open it, you see a social feed and you see a lot going on, so Yeah. So it's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. It's big. Yeah.
I've
But it's,
seen it. It's exciting.
yeah. Thank you.
Um, I'm going to talk about now peace topics. Topic of peace.
Absolutely.
Okay. So now we're going to transition with most of my guests, or just about all my guests from now on in the future. I'm going to talk about peace and the topic because I know these times are very challenging times for many. There's a lot of just very dark forces going on in this day, and I want to bring light. I want to draw light to that
Right.
darkness. And as if you don't know, if people don't know, light cuts directly through darkness. So if you have a dark room and you turn on the light, it goes right through the darkness.
True.
So keep that in mind, everybody. We all want a peaceful world. What is your vision of it?
To me, peace has to start inside. Where when I look at at really doing good and really when I'm the best for people, when I think
You
it's
have to have
a
inner
something
peace.
that, yeah, it has to be inside where you're not going to find peace if you're angry. You're not going to find peace if if you're honking at someone in traffic. It really is that state of mind. And just as you can turn it off, you can turn it on. And for me, it's kindness, it's opening doors, it's small gestures. It's not just big. I'm not asking everyone to, hey, go create your own app. It's nothing
Yeah,
like that, but it
sure.
literally is something as small as saying hi to someone. Especially Sarasota, you see a lot of older people and you don't know it may be the only person they see all day. But just
Yeah,
striking up a conversation where
exactly.
it's easy for you, but now one, it makes you happy, two, it makes them happy. So I think just starting that and kind of getting that ball rolling is sometimes all you need to do.
Love it. Love it. And everyone go out there and tip your cap to someone, shake a hand, say hi, how you
Yeah,
doing today?
absolutely.
It'll make their day. It'll make their day and you'll feel great about yourself.
Yeah.
Peace. How can it be acquired in our community, nationwide, let alone worldwide?
Yeah, I have, so again, for as far as peace goes, I think of people sharing on social media. And I don't
Yeah,
think it's something that you can necessarily like see in pictures, maybe, or even with words. I really do believe it's that feeling. And it's that feeling you get through, your actions where I say, okay, words only equal so much, but what are you doing? Show me, where maybe you post a positive image or, I love the people that cut me off in traffic and their bumper sticker says namaste. It's like, wait a minute, like you have to follow it. You have to
yeah,
like be in
yeah.
that spot. And yeah, and it's through like for me, it's through I don't do meat or dairy. So for even me, when I took those things out, I noticed I loved animals before, but when I took that out, I loved animals. Like I just viewed them
Yeah,
differently.
sure.
So it could be something as small as that,
Yeah,
but also through I don't know, it's really through your perception, where if you can perceive and if you can kind of look at people not from the outside, but maybe from the inside of like, what are they going through? What's going on there? And really just kind of, put yourself in other people's positions, and be
yeah,
a little bit more compassionate. I think
yeah,
small gestures, again, to me, go a really big way. So I think, just by doing it ourselves and doing it to a couple people each day is going to get that community, which is going to get,
the
the
vast
county
majority.
and the
Someday.
state and yeah, and it
Yeah,
does take a village. It's something that one person can't do, but everyone can do a little bit together. Yeah.
sure. Absolutely. One step at a time, one moment at a time, 1 second at a time,
Yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely.
Necessarily, during these times in duress, in these crisis times, local relief allows people to find peace and critical life essentials in an essential moment in time, during the most challenging weather or during natural disasters. Thank you, Heather Hackett, for coming out today, or for doing a conference, Zoom
Yeah, yeah. Thank
interview.
you.
Thank you, Heather Hackett, for your creative mind. Keep doing what you're doing and don't stop. Thank you
Oh,
for
thank you.
inspiring many and keep inspiring many others.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.